Our next presenter is an ambitious student who gives anti-bullying presentations to elementary school students where she teaches them about healthy relationships because she thinks it's so empowering. So, let's give it up for Miss Lylee Orr and Perfectly Imperfect.
In today's society, there's so much pressure on academics and athletics as the defining features for students, not their character traits. I personally struggle with math, as probably many students do, and I truly believe that the 50s and 60s I was getting put a label on me, the label being dumb in my own perception. Because of my mediocre grades, I felt less than, that I wasn't meeting my own expectations. A very common theme among students is letting their grades define them, which is an inaccurate depiction of who you are, because in life, it's not going to matter what you got on your pre-calc 20 test. It felt no matter how hard I'd studied, it was never enough. It was a constant uphill battle. And when I never met my expectations, my struggle became all-consuming. However, the solution to my problem was very simple. I was viewing and approaching my challenge all wrong. After my semester ended, I realized it wasn't the mark I was craving. It was wanting the label I had put on myself to disappear. With every challenge, one has two choices. You can avoid it or you can face it. And I blindly avoided my challenge because I viewed it as a flaw. I guarantee you, if I had viewed my struggle as a challenge I can overcome rather than a flaw I'm stuck with, this would be a very different story. There is a discipline in accepting that you may not be the best academically or athletically, but understanding how your approach to challenges will help you develop a grace is a power within itself. Grace means that all your mistakes now serve a purpose instead of serving shame. This was said by Brené Brown, and I truly believe these words. This is what I mean by developing a grace, understanding that your mistakes will serve you a positive purpose. Everyone has flaws. You aren't perfectly made. Everyone is. But understanding that you are who you are is crucial to developing as a person, because once you set perfection as the standard, you are setting an unrealistic expectation for yourself. And believe me, I've been there. In my process of struggling, I strive for perfection, not realism. I always told myself I'd be happier next time. And when next time didn't come, it just became a constant cycle of next time, next time, next time, which in the end is a sinking feeling. Alongside my immature approach to my challenge, I set the impossible standard of perfection. And in order to achieve your goals, you need to set realistic expectations. And once you set realistic expectations, progression will come naturally. But you have to be willing to work with your given set of limits. Like I said before, you aren't perfectly made, and that is the realism. Understanding that sometimes your goals aren't realistic. And I promise you, you will start to see progress once you set a realistic goal. My personal realistic goal was a 75. That is what I was striving for. Yes, it is lower than all my present marks, but it is realistic to my skill set, and that's what matters. And because I was meeting my small goals, I was able to enjoy the class. I was meeting my expectations, and my confidence in my abilities went up. And ultimately, I exceeded my goal of a 75, and I received a 79 before the final exam. These goals are made to help you become the person you are supposed to be, and these flaws are by no means a negative thing. My struggle humbled me because I have always valued my education and my grades, and I have always held them to a very high standard. But valuing and appreciating are two different things. I now appreciate the times I spent with my teachers and their efforts to help me. I now appreciate others' work ethics because I've been there. And ultimately, I learned to appreciate my struggle instead of resenting it, which humbled me. So if your grades don't define you, what does? And to me, that's a very simple answer. Because in life, it's not going to matter if you have an 80 overall or a 50 overall. What matters is if you're a kind, compassionate, generous, hardworking human being, if you are capable of giving and reciprocating love. academic validation aren't going to get you those values. Everything that defines you won't be seen on paper, but within your actions. There is a power in your actions, and there is a grace developed within them. And like I said before, achieving an 80 in your math class isn't going to get you those values. So to me, my defining features are my family, friends, and ambitions. I'm not going to always remember what I had in my grade 10, 11, 12 overall averages. What I will remember is the family vacations, the ski trips, the summer holidays, the times I spend at the lake with my family and friends. Because those are moments in my life that are important and worth remembering, which is another vital defining feature, my family. My family that will love and support me even if I am a mediocre student. My family that wants me to grow up to be a good and kind person, not necessarily the smartest in the room. I was lucky enough to have a teacher who noticed my work ethic, who didn't judge me for my poor test writing capabilities. Her compassion for me and my struggle was a huge stepping stone in overcoming my pressures that I had placed on myself, and for which I will always be grateful for her kindness and compassion. So, your grades don't define you, your actions do. But in order to overcome challenges placed in front of you, you have to have the right mindset, and you have to be viewing it as a challenge, not a flaw within you, because you'll never be able to overcome anything if you think there's something wrong with yourself. A very beautiful and famous movie, Dead Poets Society, is satiristic of our own society today. And through Robin Williams' character, John Keating, a quote is said, "Medicine, business, law, engineering. These are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, and love, these are what we stay alive for."